So, kind of a curious look at the start of the 2022 season for the Georgia Bulldogs. Who do you think is the highest valued or the most likely to win the Heisman player on Georgia's team right now? If you guessed someone other than Kendall Milton, you guessed incorrectly. Kendall Milton, according to FanDuel.com, is listed as plus 10,000. That is the quote best number on the team for Georgia. That's kind of interesting because when you take a look at everybody that's in college football, Bryce Young, who won the Heisman this past year, he is not considered the favorite going into things. And now you've got C.J. Stroud at Ohio State is plus 200. He's considered the favorite going into the season. Caleb Williams, who was at Oklahoma and is now at SC, is number 3 at 1,200. And then DJ Ugalele is fourth at plus 2,000. And I'm just going to say there's a lot of faith in him right now because he's not backed that up yet. Both the games he played that mattered in 2020 were not great performance. Well, they were okay performances, but Clemson lost one of them and nearly lost the other to Boston College. And then obviously in 2021, it just wasn't there for DJ. So we've got a long way to go on DJ Ugalele. Most people would think that Stetson Bennett would be relatively high up for the Georgia players in terms of the Heisman voting or the Heisman likelihood. He is not. He is listed. He is listed at plus 20,000. Now, these are called sucker bets. All right. These are things that are almost certainly not going to happen. These are things that, are total shot in the darks. I'll be frank, and I cover college football. It's what I do for a living. I don't know who some of these people are who are on this list. I don't know who Tyler Buckner is. I know who Zach Evans is. I know Tank Bigsby. I know John Rice Plumlee. I don't think people who cover college football out west or in the Midwest would know who John Rice Plumlee is. But anyway, so like the Clemson running back, Will Shipley, who is, I don't even really, I mean, he's not going to win the Heisman. He's listed at 50 plus 15,000, the same way Brock Bowers is listed at Georgia plus 15,000. So I don't think Brock Bowers is likely to win the Heisman, even though he could be the best player in college football next year. But when you look at Kendall Milton at plus 10,000, those are not, I mean, there's a reason why he would be higher than Brock. And the reason is he plays running back. It's very simple. A lot of this is position based, and some of this is total insanity. Anthony Richardson, who has done absolutely nothing at Florida, is at plus 600, plus 6,000. He's valued the same as Hendon Hooker, who has been pretty good, I think, at Tennessee. Keaton Slovis at SC is ranked relatively high in all of this stuff. Quinn Ewers, who is at Texas now, I don't know if he's actually going to start or not. He is listed essentially as number 7 most likely to win the thing. So there are a lot of sucker bets on here. I mean, I don't know who Aiden O'Connell is. Should I know that person? I'm going to go ahead and Google him and just see. He plays at Purdue. As a quarterback at Purdue. He is never winning the Heisman. That is not happening. Okay. So these are sucker bets, but it is kind of curious to see where you would line up with all of these guys. Aiden O'Connell, 72% completion rate, 3,712 yards, 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. I mean, I've seen worse, that's for sure. But then again, Spencer Rattler, South Carolina quarterback, is now considered the number 10 most likely to win it, right on top of JT Daniels, who is currently not out of school. Bo Nix at plus 6,000. Look, this is going to come down to Stroud, Caleb Williams, and Bryce Young. And, if another quarterback sneaks in there, so be it. But we've seen basically any quarterback that you've ever heard of, Bo Nix, Max Johnson, these guys are not winning the Heisman. But you can bet on them if you want to. I mean, if you want to put your money down, you can. Will Rogers at Mississippi State. So JJ McCarthy, who was at Michigan, JJ McCarthy has not played at all really. So that's one, he's not started at all. So that's another thing here. But it is curious to see that if you're real hell bent on going with these guys, you can. Is Kendall good value, if you want to call it that? To me, sometimes the term value, when you start talking about betting, in this instance is, hey, I really have a lot of fun taking my cash and lighting it on fire. It's really cool. I put it on Instagram, or whatever. But there's no real value in some of these picks. I mean, it's insanity. There are some other things that are out there that make more sense in terms of putting your betting dollar. But what do you think? Who would you say is the most likely to win the Heisman of all the players at Georgia right now? Kendall is not the best player at Georgia, but he has the capability of being a very bright uh, star at a spot where you get that position. Stetson winning it would be amazing. It would be so amazing that I find it unlikely. I mean, unlikely is probably not a fair term, but he, with that said, has specialized in the unlikely in his time at Georgia. I mean, when you see in DAWGSTRUCTION, which you should 100% get before I have to go to a fifth printing, we have some beautiful images of Stetson in here, um, and he we have beautiful images because he made beautiful plays. That again, he ain't winning the Heisman, but he has got the capability. Look at his reaction with Zamir right there. I mean, that is so much fun. A lot of people talk a lot about the imagery in DAWGSTRUCTION, and we really do work hard to try to get the best images we can for y'all, and images that nobody else can get or does get. Make sure you're picking up that down below. I don't. I mean, to me, I would almost say that Brock Bowers might be more likely than Kendall because we've seen Brock Bowers totally take over games against playoff teams. I mean, Alabama, Michigan. He took over games against both those teams. Georgia didn't win the game that he took over against Alabama. He definitely took over the game that they won against Michigan. He also scored a really important touchdown against Alabama. I would say probably Brock Bowers, but you're not beating out a quarterback in this thing. And right now, Georgia's quarterback is not the type of guy that people in betting worlds are going to let vault up the you know parameters, whatever you want to call it, of getting to New York. But I mean, I'm a Heisman voter. We'll see how it goes. The number one thing that affects everything is how do you play on the field. So we'll see. I did think that was curious. I would take Brock over Kendall, but I get why they've got Kendall rated high. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the website.